All right. Tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, in order to be successful for tomorrow, you need to know that you have 4 new documents going on to your list quiz tomorrow. Letters of Birmingham, Gideon versus Wainwright, Schneck versus the United States, Engel versus Vitale. I think I got them all. All of them are going on there. So make sure you're ready for tomorrow's list quiz. Yes? Okay? So make sure you are ready for that. It's just 5 questions, of course, but make sure you are ready to go. All right. Today we are obviously going to be focusing on our amendments here. Okay. So at the top of your notes, you need to write week 8, of course, because we're in week 8. Okay. So we are going to start on our Bill of Rights, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to start with our Bill of Rights. Oh, it would be better if you could see it. All right, so for your Bill of Rights, ladies and gentlemen, you need to know that it is your first 10 amendments. Oh my God, computer, please stop freaking out. It is your first 10 amendments, ladies and gentlemen, is your... Okay, you need to know number 1 is your freedom of religion. I'm working on it. I'm not trying to have it this way. It's just not working with me. There we go. I guess that's as good as it's going to get at the moment. Okay, you need to know the first one is your freedom of religion, freedom of speech, press, and assembly. You need to know freedom of the press, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, freedom to petition. You also need to know it is supported by the clear and present danger test. You need to know it is supported by the clear and present danger test. What Supreme Court case gave us the clear and present danger test? What is it, Mia? Schneck versus United States. Write it down. Under clear and present danger test, you need to know it is Schneck versus the United States. Okay, so your first one is freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. You need to know it is all protected and provided by your limited... I am really struggling, and it's not going well. Okay, you also need to know establishment clause. Okay, still under the first, establishment clause. Establishment clause creates a gap between separation of church and state. You have to know it. 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 Okay, so establishment clause is the creation of the separation between church and state. Ooh. What Supreme Court case do we see this best protected in and reinforced by? Eve? Engel versus Vitale. I would write that next to it. You need to be able to use these Supreme Court cases to justify something. It's your pieces of evidence. If you say, as seen in Engel versus Vitale, the establishment case, blah, 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 you're going to get all the points you need. Is everyone clear on that? All right. There you go. Number 2, your Second Amendment, is the right to bear arms. Okay, the right to bear arms. We are going to have a bunch of Supreme Court cases that tie to this. What's the big one that transforms? It's on your breakdown, by the way. Which is the big one? Heller versus the United States. Write it down. Makes the Second Amendment stronger. Which is why we live in 2023, where there are more guns in America than there are people. Isn't that wild? It's wild. Whether you love it wild, hate it wild, it's still a crazy fact, okay? Number 3, no quartering of soldiers. When I say quartering rinkus, what does it mean?
Like forcing them to stay at your home.
Yeah, why would the British do that? The British are famous for doing it. That's why it's in our Constitution. Are you on better behavior when there's a stranger in your house? teach you then. So when you have a stranger in your house, you act like a complete monster.
No.
Okay, no, because your mother would beat the crap out of you, wouldn't she, if you embarrassed her like that? Yes. Okay. So why did the British keep soldiers in the houses of the citizens? Colin.
So that they could keep an eye on them.
Yeah, so you can keep an eye on them, report back, all that stuff. And you're not going to do too much if you have a soldier with like guns and all this stuff in your house. Yes, can we agree? So it's a way to like keep an eye on the public. All right. 4, protection against unreasonable search and seizures. 4 is protection from unreasonable search and seizures. Okay, you need to know the exclusionary rule. Exclusionary rule is the big one here. Okay, that means if it's not on a warrant, it can't be used. So if a police officer comes in this room and starts going through my purse, can it be used in a court of law? No, it cannot be used in a court of law. If a police officer comes in this room and starts going through Liam's backpack, can it be used in a court of law? Yes, it can. Yes, it can, because you're not 18 and out of high school. Once you're in this building, you're not. Even if you're 18 in this building, you still don't have your full rights until you leave. Just so you know. What do you got?
So like an officer went to the house for a warrant and they found something else.
If they're in the house for a warrant, then it's fine. Yeah, because when you get a warrant, it's not saying in one room of the house, it's saying the whole house. So if they can find other crimes, like for instance, if you're suspected of murder, Oliver, and they go in and they see that, I don't know, you have your children being abused in the house, then you're going to be prosecuted for murder and for child abuse or child neglect or whatever it is. But they can't go into the house unless they have the warrant. What do you got?
What if they're they're looking for like a dead body and then they search like something that you couldn't hide a dead body and they find something illegal?
Hello, hi, my name's Samantha Bennett. I am a teacher at HB Plan High School, which means I am not a lawyer, because if I was a lawyer, I wouldn't be doing this. I'd be off having fabulous lunches and drinking fancy, expensive coffees with a fabulous outfit that's not free from Plan High School. So I'm not sure, Colin. To get back to your answer, I have no idea, and I'm so sorry, Colin. Hopefully you have lawyer friends of your parents in your life, or maybe your parents are lawyers. They'd be the ones to direct, because some of my knowledge comes from SVU. And I'm pretty proud of that because I love Stabler so much with my whole heart. Anyway, she gets it. She gets it. All right, here we go. Exclusionary rule means if they don't have a permit, if they don't have a warrant, they cannot go into your house and collect information on you. By the way, I just want to give a big little hint here. When you start traveling abroad, especially when you're 18 and you start traveling and you go to like France, Italy, Asia, wherever you decide to go in your fabulous travels, you should be aware of what the laws are where you travel. Because every year we have Americans who get arrested all the time throughout the country. Sometimes they do make national news and stuff like that. But like in France, if they think you did something wrong, they arrest you. And then they try to prove it. So you are guilty till proven innocent. While in the United States, you are until proven guilty. So in France, if they're like, oh, that person's a little shady, what they're going to do is they're going to arrest you, and then they're going to go back to your apartment or hotel and start collecting stuff about you. So it's important that you are aware of when you travel. All right, 5th. It is protections against double jeopardy, self-incrimination. Bronson, you should be writing this down. Thank you. Double jeopardy. But the biggest thing you need to know is the due process clause. Okay, it's all about the due process, which protects citizens from imprisonment without trial. It's all about due process. Specifically, Miranda rights. Oh yeah, Ellie, if you can smirk about my Stabler, you know your Miranda rights. What are they? And if you choose not to, they will be used against you in a court of law. Yes? Yes. All right. So Miranda. It's from Miranda versus Arizona. You should know it. It's not one of our 15, but you should know it. Okay. It is about you have the right to remain silent. If you choose not to, whatever you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Thank you, Stabler. Okay, so that's your number 5. Number 6 is to speedy trial with witnesses.
And the witnesses part is the whole grand jury.
Yeah, it's like all the jury's witness. It's people actually in the court. It's not just you and a judge, and the judge can do whatever they want. There's accountability. 7 is trial by jury. 8 is against excessive fines and cruel and unusual punishment. Now in America, it's a stagnant bail, which means Jeff Bezos pays the same amount of speeding ticket fines as you pay. In Europe, specifically in Italy, they base your fines based on how much money you make. So if you are tooling around in a Ferrari in Italy and you're going 160 miles an hour through, Tuscany, are you going to pay the same ticket as someone who is poorer than you? Yeah, exactly. So they could pay. So it punishes people who are very wealthy. Instead of paying, $4,000 ticket that you and I would pay, they're paying like $150,000 tickets, which they'll think a little bit more about, which is pretty interesting. All right, 9. You need to know Constitution cannot, rights granted on the Constitution cannot be infringed, which means anything that's said in the Constitution, nothing can infringe on it. So if it's stated here, it cannot be challenged elsewhere. So if you're a state, can you say that you can only have freedom of speech on Tuesdays? No, because it's according to amendment number 9. If it's in it, they get it. And then 10, if it's not specifically stated in the Constitution, it belongs to the state. Is if it's not specifically stated in the Constitution, it belongs to the state. All right, 11. You just need to know when a citizen sues a foreigner, it goes to the Supreme Court. Every time I hear him yelling over there, I'm like, is this what I sound like on the other side?
No.
No?
It's not that. Back then it's pretty.
He's a football coach. It's on brand. All right, 11. If a citizen sues a foreign national, they have to go through the Supreme Court. 12. You just need to know the vice president gets selected by the president.
Didn't it used to be that, like...
Number 2, got it.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We've all seen Hamilton. Come on now. Have you all seen Hamilton by now? It would make your life easier in this class. It is easier to remember some of this stuff. All right, 13. You need to know this is Civil War is happening. 13th Amendment, it just finished. So keep in mind, this is where we are in history in the 1860s. You need to know, it says that abolishes slavery. 13th, abolishes slavery. And now it's the 14th Amendment. Do you just need to memorize everything I'm about to tell you about the 14th Amendment? Yes, because what is the most important amendment? Because everything comes back to the... Yes, so just like learn it, love it, live it. Here we go. 14th Amendment. You need to know it grants citizenship. Ooh. Okay, it grants citizenship to people born and naturalized. Katie, what does naturalized mean? They do immigrate, but just because you're here doesn't make you a citizen. What makes you a citizen? Yeah, you take the test. It takes about 5. The fastest you can do it is in 5 years, but some people are in the country for like 30 years and then become naturalized citizens. So you're not a full-blown citizen until you sit down and you take the test. You have to take classes and you have to do all the things. There's a huge waiting list to get on it, and it's a big deal. You need to know they cite that former slaves cannot be discriminated against. Okay, you also need to know the term all receive equal protection of the law. The Equal Protection Clause is what is used the most in the 14th Amendment. It guarantees citizens equal protection in front of the law. You have to know that. It's the Equal Protection Clause. It's non-negotiable. What? Give me one Supreme Court case where we have seen equal protection in front of the law. I taught it to you last week. Eve. Brown versus Board. I would cite that. Okay, pretty much everyone comes down to equal protection in front of the law if it talks about 14th Amendment, but Brown versus Board is the perfect example of it being cited. Okay, underneath it, you need to know the term incorporation. It's a non-negotiable. You cannot pass AP Gov without understanding what incorporation is. Incorporation in the 14th Amendment requires 14th Amendment, incorporation in the 14th Amendment requires states and local government to enforce the Bill of Rights. Okay, so put a period before the 14th Amendment. Only the federal government had to protect Bill of Rights. Before the 14th Amendment, only the federal government had to protect them. Why? Why did they create it this way? Why didn't they make the Bill of Rights responsible to everyone? Why did they do that, Tula? Yes, because they thought the states would obviously protect them because the states are local government and the states are more protecting. Yes? Did that happen? No, it didn't happen. Here we go. You need to know about the 14th Amendment. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. 15th Amendment. Okay. No discrimination based on race, color, or previous condition. No discrimination based on race, color, or previous servitude. Alright, 16th is income taxes. Creation of income taxes. 17th, is a popular election of senators. 17th is popular election of senators. 18 is prohibition. No selling of alcohol. I'd write prohibition. It makes it easier to remember. Prohibition, the no selling of alcohol. 19th! What's 19th? No. It's women's right to vote. No, 19th. It was passed in 1921. Okay, 19th Amendment. It gives women the right to vote. Okay, from this, it uses the Equal Rights Amendment. From the 19th Amendment, we're going to get the creation of the Equal Rights Amendment, which is the Civil Rights one. And then we get Title IX out of it. because of the 19th Amendment and the 14th Amendment, we are going to get the Equal Rights Amendment and Title IX out of it. What is Title IX? I taught it to you on your breakdown. What is Title IX, Haley? It's the whole reason why you are here and that you have a very bright future.
Women the opportunity to go to school and learn.
Yeah, like learn. It's not just women are at school, but we're getting equal opportunities of funding, we're getting equal opportunities in secondary education, and we are getting access to colleges, which means we are getting opportunities beyond just reading and writing. All right. You need to know that the 19th Amendment will lead to the Equal Rights Amendment and Title IX, also the Civil Rights Act. Okay. Okay, 20th. You need to know it is changing dates for the president. It's just changing dates for inauguration in Congress. So it's just changing dates. 21st is your end of prohibition. We're starting to drink again. By the way, we were drinking the whole time. We just paid a lot more money for it.
I heard that it got worse.
It did get worse, significantly worse. 22. Okay, it limits terms of presidents to 2. So what wars just ended in 22? World War II just ended. We're in the 1950s now. Okay. 23rd is that Washington, D.C. can vote for president. 24 is no poll tax. We're still trying to stop people from voting. I can't believe it. This is the 60s, by the way. They used to charge people money to vote, so they'd stop people from voting. 25. Okay, states that if the president dies, the vice president takes over. If the president dies,
Who would have taken over before that?
I'm not 1,000% sure. I think they would have tried to have another election, but that shit's wild. But we've had a president before die. Before them, we've had 3 presidents who have died before the 1960s. So I don't know why it's there. It's not a great answer on my behalf, but I'm just being honest with you. It goes back to the fact I didn't go to law school. Here we go. 26. 18 years old to vote. Beforehand, at some points in history, you had to be obviously white, male, landowner, but now they're making it 18. All right, you need to know, Congress, 27 is how Congress gets paid. I'm sure we were really invested in that. You make $170 a year if you're in Congress. Yeah. If you're a senator, I think you make $250 or $260 a year. Don't worry, they can vote themselves raises.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they can.
If they have to get like reelected to get that.
Yeah, you cannot implement it in the middle of a session. It goes like 6 years out, and then it kicks in, or 4 years or something. All right, and that's it for your amendments. Here we go on your whiteboards. Oh yeah, here we go on your whiteboards. Please tell me, what amendment am I discussing? Yeah, because you're supposed to pick it up on your way in, boss. All right, here we go on your whiteboard. Which one am I describing? No quartering of soldiers. We're starting off with the most important one, aren't we? Getting right to the nitty gritty here. What do you got, Megan? Number 3 on your whiteboard. Please tell me, where is Equal Protection Clause? Where is the Equal Protection Clause? Good, Estella. 14th, guys. On your whiteboard, where do we have the Establishment Clause? Where do we have the Establishment Clause, Maribel? 1. On your whiteboard, please tell me, what amendment says rights granted in the Constitution shall not infringe other rights? Ooh, we got some discrepancy here. What is it, Tatum? 9. On your whiteboard, please tell me what am I describing? The process of extending the protections of the Bill of Rights by means of actions of state governments. Good. What is it, Mia? Incorporation. On your whiteboard, equal protection of the law under the 14th Amendment is perfectly preserved in what Supreme Court document? Supreme Court case. Bronson. Brown versus Board. On your whiteboard, please tell me what says that you cannot discriminate based on race. Jade. 15th. On your whiteboard, which one says no more alcohol? Good. Haley. 18th. You saw your girl won Teacher of the Year yesterday, yeah?
Again? Wait, my girl?
Yeah. Porcelli.
What?
She said you called her that. That's so weird.
Thank you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Porcelli. If you see Porcelli, make sure you wish her congratulations. She's the new reigning Teacher of the Year. So make sure you say congrats. Huh?
She's your legacy.
She's like a C?
She's your legacy.
Oh, yeah, sure. We'll be sitting next to each other for
I saw
eternity.
the picture in the library.
Well, it's hanging on the wall, so yes. Oh, sure. All right, here we go. On your whiteboard, what ended Prohibition? Good. What do we got, Rinkus? 21st. Please tell me, what are the 4 freedoms that are protected by in the First Amendment? 5, sorry. What are they, Chris?
Religion, speech, press, and assembly.
There you go. Oh, and petition. There's 5. On your whiteboard, please tell me what test is found in First Amendment. What test? Good. No. Actually, that's not a bad answer. I accept. Rinkus, give me one. Lemon test. And you should write that down in your notes. It's a good answer. I didn't do that. Lemon test is a good one. The one I was looking for was what, Andrew? Clear and present danger test is the one I was looking for. The lemon test is a good answer, though, Rinkus. Nice job. All right, here we go. On your whiteboard, please tell me which one is dealing with the exclusionary rule or finding illegal items that can be used in court unless they were found under warrant. Colin. 4. On your whiteboard, which amendment says that if you're going to sue a foreign national, you have to go through the Supreme Court? Eve, you're killing it back there. 11. She's killing it, man. She knows the answer before I even say it. Damn. Here we go. On your whiteboard, please tell me what is... Please tell me which one says no president can be elected more than 2 terms. Good. What do we got, Tori? 22. On your whiteboard, please tell me which one gives you at 18 the right to vote. Good. What do we got? Leo. 26. Which one gives me the right to vote? Write it on the damn board, Colin. That's what we're doing. Bronson. 19. On your whiteboard, please tell me how many amendments do we have? Good. Maribel. 27. All right. To your notes. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, that's it for the boards at the moment. Is that okay? Are we disappointed? Okay, let's just make a couple things a little clear in our notes. Between civil liberties and civil rights, I think this is probably the hardest part of this week. Okay, so let's talk about civil liberties, please. How much time do I have? All right, civil liberties are freedoms protected against government restraint. Okay, so civil liberties are freedoms to protect us from the government. That's what I would write. Civil liberties are freedoms protected against the government. That apply to everyone. Are there more civil liberties or more civil rights? Liberties. There's more civil liberties than there are civil rights. Even though we kind of want to lean to civil rights, it's actually more civil liberties. Okay? You need to know that there are 3 major places where you get your civil liberties. The first place is the Bill of Rights. Okay? You need to know. The Bill of Rights, so amendments 1 through 10 are where most of your civil liberties are. You also need to know your 14th Amendment. Of course. And 15th Amendment. So, now, the biggest things under civil liberties that you have to know is the Due Process Clause. So, under civil liberties, you need to know Due Process Clause, which says the government cannot deny the rights of people. Okay, so the Due Process Clause is the biggest one. And then you have incorporation. And what is incorporation? You have to know it. You cannot function without it. What is it, Jade? Yeah, absolutely. It's when the states and local governments have to enforce the Bill of Rights. Okay, those are the 2 biggest things about civil liberties. Now, you also have the Establishment Clause, which creates a deeper divide between the church and state. You also have the limit test, as Rinkus so generously reminded me, and Claire and Presentator. Okay, so when in doubt, which one has the most stuff? Civil liberties. Okay, if it's talking about black people, if it's talking about minority groups, it's typically going to be civil rights. Okay, so a couple things that I do want you to know. When we're talking about freedom of religion, so skip a space. Under civil liberty, you have freedom of religion, okay, which means, I do want you just to write this down because I think it does a really nice job. People shall be free to exercise their own religion, which is the Free Exercise Clause. Okay, so, and the government cannot establish an official religion, the Establishment Clause. I think it's very simple, very straightforward, but those are the 2 major clauses. Every time we have a religious Supreme Court case, we have a grand total of 3, so we have more coming. What do you got? No. Well, you can, but you have to pay taxes, like just a tax or something else on it. But yeah, typically in 2023, yes, you can be other religions. You just may have to pay a tax. You may have to do state-sponsored religious things in school. Like for instance, in other countries, not in the United States, but in other countries, like if you go to a Catholic school, whether you're Catholic or not, in that Catholic school in like downtown Tampa, like you still have to go to mass, right? If you sign up to go to one of the synagogue schools, you still have to go to temple, even if you're not a Jew, yes? In other countries that have official religions, they do those types of things, and whether you're religious or not, you have to go. You only get that experience of being forced into a religion if you sign up for private school here in the United States. All right. Freedom of religion, you also need to know the exclusionary rule. Okay? Exclusionary rule is going to fall under the 5th Amendment. Okay? So, your 5th Amendment and 4th Amendment, actually, is your exclusionary rule. It has nothing to do with religion. Exclusionary rule is all about that whole, if you don't have the warrant, thank you, then you can't get in. Perfect. Those are the big things I wanted to talk about. All right. And then, all of your amendments. How much time do I have? How much? 3 minutes. All All right, to the boards. Let's go. I want to make sure you know this stuff. Okay, which one is about warrants? And if it's not on the warrant, you cannot have it. What is the clause? I want clauses. This is all about clauses. I think clauses are the hardest part. What clause am I referring to? It's about warrants. If it's not on the warrant, they cannot have it in court. What is it? Nikhil? Perfect. What clause am I referring to? Separation of church and state. Good. You are killing it. Killing it back there. Damn. Yeah. Establishment clause. Everyone is free and equal in front of the law. Oh God. Good. What the hell is that? No. What is it? Eve. Equal protection clause. On your whiteboard, please tell me which one. I'm trying to think of my clauses here, people. What is saying that you can practice any religion you want? Shh. I have to remind myself too, Tatum, okay? Good. What? No. What is it? Ellie? Free exercise clause. There we go. Alright. Perfect. The bell's gonna ring here in a second, isn't it? Alright. Friendly reminder, all of your makeup work is due when? That's a week from Friday. So some of y'all got some like do-nows and stuff to turn in. Like, good God. Get your A's and B's, people. Do what you need to do. If you are bringing in any extra credit, you cannot bring paper towels tomorrow, but if you have them today, I'll accept. What do you got? Yeah, we did. Yeah. You got points for it. You just had to submit it. Yeah, so turn it in so I can give you 20 points. Wouldn't that be